We have no experts here.
No, you have us.
I'm an expert.
On.
I cut my finger.
So you're an
and then
expert
I cut
on
my
sharp
finger
knives?
a second time. So I'm kind of an expert on that. It turns out sharp knives are sharp.
I've learned
Very
that
sharp.
from my good friend James.
And so when I went to go, all right, I'm just going to clean this knife here, I went like that, and then this motion was enough to, you can barely see it, but it goes across three fingers.
That's the camera.
3 fingers, and this one being the deepest cut, slice it off, and I said, ow, that really hurts. Boy, there's a lot of blood. And I go, I should be really careful when I'm cutting with this hand again. Oh, I cut my other hand.
How many days do you give yourself alone in the woods? 2?
How
Maybe
many
3?
knives are in the woods? If I'm far away from knives, I think I'm okay.
Okay.
This podcast contains spoilers. Welcome to Funhaus, everybody. This week, I've got my friends Elise, James, and Adam.
Hello.
Hey.
Our podcast is sponsored by Away, so I'll tell you a little bit more about them later on in the show. But this week, we're going to talk and chat a little bit about our favorite movies of 2019. We can discuss what we consider the best acting, directing, writing, and maybe just the movie that we had the most fun with this year.
Funhaus Awards?
The funsies.
The
Should we
funsies.
do that? Should we do
Have
a
we-
live stream event, the Funhaus Awards, where we give away our awards for our best movies of the year?
Do you think people will show up to get
A
them?
great idea.
What? No, we drop them off at their house because we have that Hollywood map that we got.
Celebrity
Star map?
guests to come and join us.
They won't come.
It's a 4-hour event where we do it all.
There's a dinner service.
That we will have. It will be catered
Yes.
by Togos.
We take
Sweet.
we take Venmo, and it's just a reservation. That's how we
Wait,
know
what
you're
are we,
real.
Why are we taking? You're talking about working
Who's
at
paying
a
us?
restaurant. I'm talking about doing that. Anyway,
We
this is
should
a great
get a
idea.
double-decker
We'll
bus,
look
the
into
star
it.
map, and we'll just throw them over the fence
look
into the
into
person's
it.
lawn.
They'll
Look
come.
into it. This is a promise that this will happen.
This is good. A lot of good movies this year, Dan.
What was your favorite movie this year, Adam? Or
Oh.
actually, let me rephrase that. What movie did you go to and have the most fun in the theater watching?
Man, RoboCop.
Did you went to see
I know
RoboCop?
mine.
This
I mean,
year.
mine's Endgame.
Man.
I don't know that
Yeah?
it's the best movie of the year.
Yeah,
I don't know that
definitely
it's my
not.
favorite movie of the year, but it's the movie that I feel like I had
I'm-
like a physical and emotional reaction to.
The ending. Spoilers for Avengers Endgame. If you
Biggest
have, if
movie
you're-
of all time.
If you're
Movie
that,
we
yeah.
statistically can prove everyone
Yeah.
saw.
Yeah, I think his name is Ed Swearden. He's the one person on this planet who hasn't seen the movie yet. Ed, if you're listening or watching,
He's not.
here's a big spoiler. Captain America picks up Mjolnir at one point, and I complain a lot about people being loud in theaters and rowdy and stuff. That is one of those times where it's like I was really glad I was in a theater because the audience is just really into it, and it's really cool that that part happens and everyone understood the weight and the severity of it. That like everyone knows, oh, Thor's hammer, you're not worthy, and Captain America picks it up and it's this beautiful shot, and you're like, I don't know, it's like you could feel the electricity in the room. Like it's people standing up and cheering for it. I get why Martin Scorsese hates it, but that was a really
It was a fun ride.
It was a really
right?
fun
Well,
ride.
it was also the culmination of so much other stuff and time.
You
It's
put a
kind
lot of time into that
it-
series.
It kind of bothered. I don't really care, but it kind of bothered me because, like, when Return of the King won all those Oscars, I was like, look, technically you're giving this to the trilogy.
right.
Like, Return of the King's really good, but it doesn't.
It might be the
doesn't
least of those movies.
Make any sense if you don't have the other ones. So I understand you're awarding the Lord of the Rings trilogy by saying this last one gets it. This is kind of how this is on an even grander scale. This is the culmination of way more shit.
Yeah.
And so, but I like all the beats that I think the filmmakers wanted me to feel in that movie, I did feel. Except for when Captain Marvel showed back up. I think they wanted that to be bigger.
Yeah.
And it still didn't pay off for
you
me.
could
but
you could feel how out of order it sort of was because the way it went was she did Endgame first and then filmed Captain Marvel after. So they're like, so this is your character's journey, but you don't know that yet. So put on the hat.
yeah.
And you have a mohawk now, and it looks cool. I don't know if that even happened.
But yeah, I don't necessarily think that it's the
the best movie.
best movie of the year or even my favorite movie of the year. But
It was what you enjoyed the most in the moment, maybe?
it's like, yeah, well, I don't even know how to explain it. Emotional, wild ride movie of the year. What is this trailer that you put on?
Oh, this is Climax.
Climax.
This was maybe the most intense theater experience I had this year.
Didn't see it.
You should check it out.
I want to.
Were you?
It was actually what I was going to recommend for like best Halloween movie because it's the freakiest experience I've had in a long time.
Is this one of those movies you put on in the background on mute?
No.
And you just let it play, or
I think you need to get into it and you watch it once and then you never see it again.
That's
Okay.
Gaspar.
it's terrifying.
It's been on Amazon Prime for a while.
Yeah.
Alright.
So
Yeah.
it's easy access. It's free,
Yeah.
as Adam likes to say.
oh yeah. As long as you pay for it, it's free.
At least you didn't chime in much. How do you feel about
My
cinematic?
most fun experience is also one of my favorite movies, which is Knives Out.
Yeah.
Of
Aha,
course.
yes.
It's for me, it just is very much in the wheelhouse of a genre that I love, and it was a very fun and stylistically executed ride.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fun movie. Big life pro tip for you out there: don't tell people. Don't even say anything about a movie if you don't want to spoil it at all. So when you're sitting next to Josh Flanagan at dinner, and he goes, "Well, we're going to talk about it, but like I'm not." Because the movie's not what you think it is. Like, thanks, dude.
Well,
maybe don't say that next time, so that when I go to the movie, when I'm about to see it in 30 minutes, I'm not going in with different expectations. Because when I went in, I was like, it's just going to be a murder movie. Maybe cut that out of the episode because I just ruined that for a lot of people.
Well, we already did a review of
Yeah.
it and we discussed it because we talked about it in that episode. But you told me that you did have in the beginning of before the movie starts, Rian Johnson came on and said, "Don't spoil the super secret double twist ending or whatever."
Right.
And you're like, why would you say that?
Because
Ryan?
anytime you see a movie trailer and then they go, and you won't believe the twist ending, you're like, thanks.
It's like, I better hope there's a fucking good ending.
Yeah.
Why am I seeing your movie?
Well, not even. There's every movie has an ending, but if you say like, "Oh man, the twist is crazy," they just go, "Shut up."
Mm-hmm.
Just say it's a good movie and you'll enjoy it. Go see I don't know, Matchstick Men.
Yeah,
Why Matchstick Men?
It's a good movie. You don't need to go.
You don't have to
"Oh,
say anything else.
That's it."
Say nothing else.
And it is a good movie.
So I think along those lines, any of us would hopefully preface a big spoiler with spoiler, but anyone watching this that hasn't seen a lot of movies this year, we might have some mild spoilers in here on accident. I think we try our best not to, but
he dies at the end.
It's going to happen, yeah.
I became what I hate most, I realize now, by telling a story of how Josh Flanagan ruined my night.
But yeah, viewer out there, just be wary going into this. We might have some light spoilers.
Probably should put that in the beginning. Cut this part out, put in that.
I'll do a little something at the beginning.
Yeah, we did
thank
a
you
full
for that.
episode on Knives Out, and we discussed all of it.
I plan on watching that now that I've seen the movie.
Yeah.
But you dug it, Adam? I guess you weren't around for that review.
I was not. No, I hadn't seen it yet. I finally got to catch that.
Who did you think done it?
I didn't know. I didn't know what to expect. I really liked the way it felt fresh. I really liked it.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all I want to say without diving too much into it.
Cool
But,
ride.
Man, I dug it. I did the thing that I'm wondering if a lot of people did. I'm like, man, if this guy had a Star Wars, I think he could do something really cool with it.
Was there anything else about Knives Out that you missed in our review that you wanted to talk about? Olivia?
No, we were pretty thorough with it. Yeah.
I didn't realize it was the girl from Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
She's great.
She's great, and she's now in the. Hey, come back to me, microphone. She's what is it? 007. She's in that, right? She's in the new.
the upcoming.
Yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
I was like, give me more of her. She's fantastic.
There was that Guy Ritchie spy movie from a couple years ago. She was also in.
Oh, okay, Man from Uncle.
Yes.
That was another good movie.
It's just
I
funny.
had
They're
fun.
like, she's so homely. It's like
Yeah.
she has these giant. She's like got the same eyes as the Time magazine girl or whatever, or the National Geographic, whatever it is. It's like she's so homely.
Yeah.
Sweater big,
Yeah.
pants short.
Oh, I mean, the whole time I'm like, she's gorgeous and easy on the
Yeah.
eyes. She's a good actress, and then. Yeah, that was funny. She's like, she's so poor. Oh, her life's hard. But yeah, I thought she was good in the. She's good in that film. Yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely. I'm happy Rian Johnson's at least. I know he got a lot of shit for Star Wars, and that's something that's forever going to taint him. And I didn't like the movie, and it's easy to point at one person and go, "You're to blame. You're the problem." And while he may have been complicit, I've seen his other movies, and he makes some good stuff.
It's just more. It's more sometimes about what makes something good doesn't necessarily make everything good. Some people did really like Last Jedi, by the way, but like it's clear that he's really good at subverting, or he likes to subvert.
That seems to be his main writing intent almost.
He has it tattooed on his
He
chest.
seems like
Subversion.
he seems like he's consumed a ton of media. You hear him talk about stuff. He's consumed a ton of movies, a ton of media, and stuff like that. But he doesn't want to remake that. He doesn't want to just make the next version of that, which is funny because you're coming from J.J. Abrams. But then sometimes there's a right place and a right time to subvert. Knives Out is the perfect place, the perfect time to subvert that genre.
He does it from the very beginning of that movie because the moment when it's the very first scene when the housekeeper discovers the body and she almost drops the tray and then she recovers and she's like, "Ah, shit." In any other like murder mystery, the housekeeper would discover the body, drop the tray and like scream. It'd be a whole
Slow-mo
thing.
shot of it.
But he even like makes a joke of it and she recovers it. She's oh shit. She's not even saying shit because she discovers the body. It's because she's gonna spill the tea.
Yeah,
it's like
okay.
he's really, really a great writer.
Yes.
Rolling the trailer for 1917, there are a few movies that I think might be best of the year or contend for my favorite films I haven't seen yet because Hollywood tends to stack those at the very end of the year.
Oh, is it?
But this like one shot, Cats is still yet to come.
Yeah, we won't be talking about Star Wars because we haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
But the one-shot war film looks intriguing to me. It looks pretty.
It is a
It is. I don't think it's a real one-shot, but it's a
one-shot.
fake.
Well, they're all
Stitched.
fake.
Right.
Yeah, but I think the idea
people got
is
an app.
it's just one. The camera just moves
continual-
through the space
Okay.
without ever.
Black Christmas
Sounds
remake
cool.
hasn't come out yet.
Which movie?
The Canadian horror movie Black Christmas. No. Well,
I'm
there's
sorry.
a remake coming out this month. and
Oh, cool.
It looks fun.
Is it like a horror
Yeah,
Christmas
it's
movie?
like it takes place at Christmas.
Right on.
Man, yeah, we're getting two World War I movies because you got this one, 1917. That's coming out soonish, right?
Yeah.
Or is it out? Maybe it's
I
out.
think it's next week.
I don't know. And then you got the King's Man,
Oh yeah.
or what is it? The King Man. King's.
I think it's the King's
The
Man.
King's
It's the
Space
King's Man.
Man.
Kings, man.
Yeah, comma man.
That's 2020. Elise, tell us
is it?
about
Okay, I
tell
thought
us
it was-
about a movie that you think might be the best or near the top of your favorites list.
I do think Parasite is
Yeah.
just incredibly well made. I can't speak to Honey Boy because it was too close to Shia. In reality, like, how can you? I mean, Honey Boy is a fine movie. It was a fine movie.
Was it?
Yeah, it was fine. It was good. But yeah, Parasite I think is like just a feat. A feat.
I think that I haven't talked to Adam about this, but I think in this room, Parasite might be considered the best film this year.
It's the best. It's not going to win an Academy Award because it's a foreign film and that
Yeah.
never happens. But
No.
it was, as far as like an original film, I thought it was the best movie of this year. That's not a remake.
Agreed.
It's not an adaptation. It's its own original work.
Not a franchise.
Yeah,
Right.
it felt to me like a better version of Us in a weird way.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I saw someone said this, and this is kind of how I felt about Us. Us is a great movie while you're watching it, but then the more you think about it, it kind of falls apart, which is sort of the opposite of his previous movie. Whereas Parasite, it's really great to watch, and then it's even greater to think about. I don't know. I really liked it. There's some things have been cited about inconsistencies here and there and all that. But I don't know. The more I think about it, it was just such a great, well-made movie.
Yeah.
And
It
it
just-
sticks with you.
Top tier acting, top tier writing, fun plotting. It looks gorgeous. It's just firing on all cylinders. Where I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of other movies had some weak points somewhere in it this year. Parasite, I can't figure out something I didn't like about it.
It's hard too when it's a foreign film. This is the anime thing where people are like, it's better in its original language. Like, perhaps it is.
Maybe.
They might be doing poor acting, but they're emoting really well. So I'm going to assume what they're doing is great. But there's a great scene in Parasite where they're rehearsing a scene in the movie, and that's always like really hard for an actor to do, to act like they're acting. So that to me is always like a nice little treat. But I also went into that movie knowing absolutely nothing, and I think that I'd probably enjoy a lot more movies if I went in knowing nothing.
Yeah.
But I was glad you guys told me, like, just don't watch anything. Just who the director is, go enjoy it, and I did.
So I'm rolling the trailer for Ready or Not, which I think was on Elise's list of movies she really liked this year.
Yeah, it was really fun. Another fun one.
Oh, yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about Ready or Not? Because I know it's rich people in a mansion hunting down.
I
a poor
won't
girl.
talk about it because if I go into it in any more specific details, it will spoil it for you. And I do think this is one too where like there was a lot that you get from the trailer that it's just this girl that she's marrying into this family and they're hunting her as human sport, but there's more to it than that, which I totally didn't decipher from the trailer. Like, James, you saw it with me, and I don't know if you picked up on any of that from the trailer.
No, yeah. It's. I mean, the thing is, there's a great aspect to that movie where it kind of like.
It's just fun.
It's fun. It's just a fun movie.
It doesn't take itself seriously.
No.
Cool.
Yeah. If there's like a tier for it, and like Knives Out, like, so there's an actual mystery movie, right? And then there's Knives Out, which probably lands around like in like a 7 in terms of where out of 10 it takes itself serious. Like, it has fun with it, but it's still pretty genuine. This is probably landing around like a 4.
I think it's your meter, how much is far-fetched and how much the movie just wants you to buy in on saying like, yeah, we know it's far-fetched, but for the sake of the fun of the movie, buy into the premise and what's going on. And that movie does definitely want you to do that.
Yeah.
And so if you're not like a huge cynic about it and saying like, then it's fun.
Is it on the Red Box yet?
I do think you can rent it.
I wanted to see it in theaters and I just never got a chance. But you guys spoke. Another one of those things. I tend to follow what James and Elise usually say.
Well, you guys see a lot of
I just follow
movies.
what Elise says. So.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at what you're looking at.
Yeah. And which blogs are you reading? But yeah, Elise usually more often than not has great taste in films.
Thank you.
And knows when to hit the mute button, which is great. Like when we're watching a Brightburn, she goes, "Nope, don't need it."
Close my eyes.
We watched that whole movie.
Did we?
Yeah, we did.
Did all of us watch it?
Oh, well, you probably pieced out.
I think you had your back to it.
James, can you give us maybe more of a left turn as far as what might be favorite or best of the year for you that's not maybe at the top of everyone's list, but something you liked a lot?
I mean, I'm going to throw out a couple one here that I feel like you're going to get maybe lost in the shuffle. Fighting with My Family, probably only appreciated by me, but I thought was a fun movie.
Yeah.
Stephen Merchant's directorial debut.
Oh, it's the wrestling
great.
one.
And he decided
Stephen Merchant's awesome.
He decided to make a wrestling biopic about Paige, the professional wrestler, starring what's his name from Midsummer.
Florence Pugh.
Florence. I always want to say Frances. Florence Pugh. And she's like completely, not that she has a type yet, but she still seems like an actor's actress. So the fact that she's playing a professional wrestler,
a scrappy wrestler with a sex tape.
Which, by the way, it's not like it's the Hulk Hogan biopic.
Is that what the movie's about?
They never get there, unfortunately. But it's not like a Hulk Hogan biopic or a Rock biopic. It's like someone who's like pretty much this generation of wrestling, got a biopic. But it's really fun. It's like feels like a dodgeball, a hybrid cartoon world. It does a really good job straddling the line of, wrestling is challenging to get into, but it's not challenging in the ways that maybe the movie Ready to Rumble starring David Arquette would lead you to believe, which is that like you have and
James Caan's son,
James Caan,
Scott Caan,
and
Scott
the
Caan.
dude from Lake Placid. What's his name? Oliver Platt. Oliver Platt. It doesn't.
Oh, I would have gone Murphy Brown.
I would, yeah.
No, he's not. He's not Elton on Murphy. I would have gone Three Musketeers for Oliver Platt.
It's a better one.
Okay, well, too bad. We went like Placid.
Or the Steven Seagal movie where he dies in the
But
movie.
either way,
Spoiler.
this movie doesn't presume that wrestling is real. It presumes that a lot of work goes into being a professional wrestler. But it's not like she's like, I have to win this match. That's not part of it. It straddles that line pretty well, which I appreciate. It kind of, not trying to trick us or whatever. We're past this as wrestling fans. Come on, we don't need this.
But you're telling me this is a movie that takes place in the past, but The Rock looks like he does now. Why they do that
No
wrong?
de-age
Well, it takes place in the past, but the past is not that long ago.
Why didn't
this
he
is-
go smaller?
But the thing is, even this is when The Rock had already left the WWE and moved on to a film career and would only visit occasionally.
Okay.
So it's not like this is Rock when he was active.
So it's a biopic from about like 3 years ago.
Basically.
Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
yeah. Yeah, it's like Social Network.
Right.
Where it's like way back in 2003.
Yeah.
This movie came out in 2006. But it was fun. It was a fun movie, and I feel like it kind of flew under the radar. If you're not a wrestling fan, there's almost no way you caught this one. But I do think it's a cool movie.
I've said before, some of my favorite documentaries have been wrestling documentaries, and I'm just sort of loosely interested in wrestling. Like it's not something I'm super into in any way, but man, the Ric Flair and Andre the Giant documentaries are some, and was the other one Beyond the Mat? There's some really fucking good documentaries out there about wrestling because it's an amazing lifestyle.
I also think that maybe one of it should be on more lists or whatever, but The Farewell is also like it's the kind of movie that just destroys you inside and
just enjoyable and dense.
It's just this story that you would never think of telling. That's perfect for a movie, but it would only occur to someone who it's true to.
Was that directed by someone that story is very much based on their life?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it was written by. It's written by the person who this happened to, and it's the kind of thing that I'm sure other people share this story too, but not in our Western world in which we live. And so it's a great examination of East through the lens of West, and I think that's why it's so successful.
At least you assume that's what they're telling you. They could be lying to you.
It could be. What are you implying?
You think you're cultured, but these are lies.
Yeah, maybe.
This is
also
propaganda.
Awkwafina is great in it. Like there's certain people who are charismatic, and in Crazy Rich Asians, I was like, I'm not crazy about most of this movie, but I liked her. She was a lot of fun every time she was on screen. I was like, give me more of that. But then she's acting in this. Like she is legitimately
subdued.
It was subdued, but just like lots of nuance in her emotions, and like that's the subject matter that movie deals with is kind of lots of highs and lots of lows all happening at the same time, and she did an amazing job handling it and stuff. So
nice.
Yeah.
So Adam, you said earlier you didn't think Parasite could win many Oscars because it's a foreign film. Is there
historically?
A film? Well, I agree. Is there a film that you think is maybe a front runner for Best Picture in the Oscar race?
What's the darling right now? Is it Black Panther again?
Lion King.
Okay. Let me see what your list is here.
We got maybe Lighthouse, Irishman, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Irishman is definitely
Irishman or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. If we're playing the Oscar game, which I've talked about before, I'm not a fan of because it is a game unto itself, and
well, I feel like they generally will reward someone years after their best work.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of politics that are at play. It's not an award show that I try to put too much stock in, but at the end of the day, I know everyone goes, well, did win an Oscar. Or he goes, oh, well, he's Oscar nominated, so that male or female actress must be great. I can't really think of anything. There hasn't been any movies that feels, because Parasite, had it been in English, it would probably be an Oscar contender.
I haven't seen Marriage Story yet, but I know everyone's talking about it. I just haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
Isn't it shot entirely in close-ups?
No, you're thinking there's that's a Terrence Malick movie, I think.
Oh, okay.
But Marriage Story is great. Adam Driver and ScarJo are incredible. Adam Driver, especially, I think, should be nominated, if not win, for Best Actor, at least of the movies I've seen so far this year. He's incredible in that movie.
Tricked by a billboard that The Report was good. Which is
Is it not?
No, it's long and boring. I didn't care for it. It's interesting. Adam Driver's always a great actor. A little hard on the eyes, but I think he's I can't tell if he's 18 or 52.
The title is technically The
Torture Report.
Report.
Sorry. Yeah.
You have to wait. It's The Report.
Yes.
Is something redacted?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes. It's all redacted. And he does that the whole movie.
He kicks ass in Marriage Story. It's tough though.
He's a great actor.
It's a sad, depressing film, so it's hard to sometimes recommend a movie that you're going to go into and watch someone's marriage.
That's kind of Honey Boy. You're like, it's gritty and it's real. It's depressing.
There've been so many. There's so many movies. There's always like the the Requiem for a Dream type movies, or like Grave for the Fireflies.
It's not that brutal, but.
Okay.
Along those lines, there are several scenes, one-shot takes of just incredible acting where they're screaming at each other, going at each other, and
but
they don't cut it all.
Is it like a Blue Valentine-ish of like a couple that's
No, I've never seen Blue
yeah.
Valentine.
That's a pretty depressing one about relationships too.
It's really great. It starts out really funny, actually. Noah Baumbach, I think, is known for being quite funny. But there's a point in the movie, essentially, where, slight spoiler, he gets served with divorce papers, and then it just drops all of the humor pretty much out and just becomes sad.
Classic Squid and the Whale.
Yeah, I was saying. We haven't seen it because it comes out this weekend, but Bombshell, it's interesting because the movie's getting middling reviews, but those actresses, everybody's like saying that those actresses will all be considered for. But I'm 100% J-Lo for Hustlers. I thought Hustlers was fine. It's like an enjoyable movie, but I think you give it to J-Lo. She's incredible in that movie. Even if you just gave it to J-Lo purely for her pole dance routine, I'd be like, yes, give her the Academy Award.
My favorite part of Hustlers, to throw this in here, because I enjoyed Hustlers too. But my favorite part of Hustlers is when J-Lo comes out and she's this like stripper at this
She's the best
strip
stripper.
club. And because she's been there for forever or whatever, Ramona Vega, and she's here. And she comes out and they start playing this music and the guys are like, yeah, and they're throwing money at her. They're throwing money at her and she's dancing and she's doing this pole stuff or whatever. And I lean over to Elise and I go, yeah, because at strip clubs, that's what men love. Legacy. They go, have you seen what she can do on this pole? No one else can do that. Plus, she's been doing it for 10 years. Give some dollars at her.
Yeah.
And then she leaves the
For
stage
the
without
art.
taking her top or bottom off or whatever. And I'm like, they would all work,
Boo-hoo.
except then she just gets off the stage and they just take all their money back. They're like, I don't think so. Not happening.
Well, I don't think it's an Oscar-winning movie, but It Chapter 2, I thought had a great performance from Bill Hader.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
you're right.
Which maybe it's because I'm used to him doing comedy. I thought he was really good doing a somewhat serious role. I know he uses humor as a deflector as that character, but like he had some great moments in that movie. Like I think everyone walked away going, yeah, Bill Hader's really good actor.
Well, there was a lot of buzz when the movie was coming out, and they were like, Oscar for Bill Hader? Oscar for Bill Hader?
That was me.
But I feel like it's been a while now, so I don't know
Well,
that I don't know that he's gonna run away or even fly away with it.
Probably
No,
not.
Probably
No.
not.
It's probably Adam Driver.
Might be. He's really good in that
Oh
movie.
yeah, I can do him real quick. Divorce papers. What are these, ScarJo?
Pretty close. Pretty close.
It's pretty good.
That's your Oscar? That's
Yeah,
all it is?
yeah.
He's gonna go up there and go, Thank you for the Oscar.
He was really good in Silence.
I'll go get him my
Good in
TIE
Black
fighter
Klansman.
now.
He's fucking good.
He's good in everything. Again, there needs to be a casting award.
Oh,
Sometimes
for
it's
best casting.
It's the best cast. The casting director slides and goes, just imagine Adam Driver in this, and they go, holy shit, that's right. And then he shows up on set and he Adam drives it.
Yeah. Or they go, you want to know who's going to play the older version of the Stranger Things kid? It's Bill Hader.
Yeah.
Everyone goes, what?
And you go, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Or what about the person who said, you know who's going to play the older version of that other kid, Eddie?
Yeah. It
His
looks
exact
exactly like
twin
him.
from the
Yeah.
future.
I thought I had heard they cast it backwards. It was they knew the older actors and they found kids who
Probably.
that probably
But still,
could've
like,
worked.
yeah. How do you? Either way you go with that kid, how do you fight it?
Yeah.
Someone ran away with it.
So we have the funsies, and our first award of the night is Casting Director of the Year.
That should be the end. That should be
Okay,
the
that's the
last
last
award
one.
of the night.
So does it go to the It Chapter 2 Casting Director?
I don't know. Have to check out the funsies.
Who
or
else
the
is
Funners,
nominated?
or whatever it's called.
Is anyone else nominated for that award? Or is it just
Yeah,
go to
I'm
It
sure we
2?
can find. Well, I mean, Adam's talking about Adam Driver, and stuff like that, and
He should be
you
nominated.
know, I say fuck it. You put John Wick 3 in there. Could you imagine that without Keanu?
Anyone from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood for Best Actor?
Man,
Bruce-
I mean, they're
Brad Pitt.
fucking good.
Brad Pitt's entertaining to watch.
it's probably.
I thought he was great in that movie.
He's pretty.
It's tough because
That's true.
they're all battling with each other for Best Actor. When there's a movie where it's like, hey bud, you think you're gonna get nominated for lead? And you go, no, I'm gonna get. And they get, like have this playful thing in the trailer, and they're all right, let's go act.
Yeah.
It's tough because Leonardo DiCaprio's real good
Mm-hmm.
in a acting way, and Brad Pitt's real good in a subdued way. So like.
Who do you give it to?
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
and also
Who's working
You're the
harder?
mom.
neither of they're
You
probably
got Elijah Wood in one hand.
You gotta cut one in
Macaulay
half.
Culkin in the other.
knowing the Oscar voting audience, I'm going to say they'll probably give it to the one guy who came up as Charles Manson because they can go, he looked like, so he is actor. He looked like.
He's in one wide shot.
Yeah.
The close-up is used only in the trailer.
He looked like.
I do not think it's the situation of he looked like, but Taron Egerton for Elton John, like,
But he don't.
He was wonderful.
No. He no look. He no look. He no vote.
He's too pretty for Elton.
I think he moved me watching that movie. His performance was moving.
No, he's great. But Oscar voters, they go, no. Elton, look. Taron, look. No, look. No vote.
For cavemen in the Academy?
That's how they vote.
Is this person guarding a cave
Yeah, that's how they
entrance?
vote.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what about Pachinko for supporting actor?
Who's Pachinko?
Al Pachinko for
Well, there's
supporting
certain
actor.
things-
Does he look like what's his name? Bob
Jimmy
Hoffa?
Well, the problem is they're not going to look up Jimmy Hoffa. They go, Al Pacino, yes. Manny Award, yes. Al Pacino, good. Act, vote, yes. He look, no. He act, yes.
I think that's a good time to tell y'all a little bit about Away, who's creating thoughtful products built for the modern travelers and the way they see the world. Whoever said it's all about the journey has never traveled during the holidays. It's the most stressful, craziest time to hit the road, but Away's products are designed to work and fit together, making travel smoother for the holidays and beyond. Last year, my wife and I spent New Year's Eve in Chiang Mai, Thailand, where thousands of people lit paper lantern balloons off into the sky. It was a magical night. One of the other more memorable days of the trip was when we were evacuated from the Phi Phi Islands as a deadly typhoon was bearing down on us. I felt safe and secure knowing our belongings would stay dry and unbroken in our Away bags that were hanging onto the back of the rescue boat. Everyone has a unique travel style, which is why Away offers a range of suitcases made of different materials like polycarbonate, aluminum, and durable nylon, a variety of colors, and 2 carry-on sizes. So for whoever you are and whatever you need to pack, gifts, comfy clothes, or holiday treats, Away has luggage that works for how you travel. All of Away's suitcases are thoughtfully designed to last a lifetime, with durable exteriors that can withstand even the roughest of baggage handlers. Their bags feature 4 360-degree spinner wheels that guarantee the smoothest roll, even through the most hectic of airports and stations. The bags also have a built-in TSA-approved combination lock to keep your belongings safe. Away products are designed to last a lifetime. If any part of your suitcase breaks, Away's standout customer service team will arrange to have it fixed or replaced. Away has a special offer for Funhaus listeners. Traveling during the holidays is crazy, but getting Away can make every trip a lot more seamless. Visit awaytravel.com/Funhaus to learn more. And if you're in the US, EU, UK, Canada, or Australia, order by 11/59 on December 15th for free ground shipping with guaranteed free delivery by December 20th. For additional last-minute holiday shipping details, check out their website, awaytravel.com/Funhaus. So visit awaytravel.com/Funhaus, and if you're in the US, EU, UK, Canada, or Australia, order by 11/59 on December 15th for free ground shipping with guaranteed free delivery by December 20th.
Wow.
So yeah, thanks Away for bringing us here this week to talk about our favorite movies this year. Some people, I guess, have lists they call the best. I think that's a little subjective. I think it's a little more fun just talking about what we thought were our favorites.
This was a big year. This was a lot of stuff. And it was
nothing blew me away though, maybe other than Parasite. Once upon a time.
No, the problem is our adrenaline's all out of whack.
Yeah. We have too many highs,
There's too
not
much,
enough lows.
too much stuff is sending us up
Yeah.
there, and it all feels numb. We're
Yeah.
basically addicted to heroin.
We have it too good.
What
yeah.
I would say my new barometer for movies is I came out of this year with a lot of movies that I want to watch again. Which for me, because I consume so much, times at a premium, I don't end up watching stuff a second time.
Rarely.
But I have a lot that and stuff I've already rewatched this. Like I saw Knives Out twice. I've watched Toy Story 4 again. I want to see Jojo Rabbit again. I want to see Endgame, or I watched Endgame again. I want to see Us again. I want to see The Farewell again. Ready or Not, Booksmart. Like I came out of this year with like a lot of movies that have rewatchability for me, which I don't know if last year if I felt there were like a couple like
You're not running back for Roma or The Favorite?
Yeah, my 2018 top movies were Hereditary, Paddington 2, and Death of Stalin, and I have rewatched all those. And then, Avengers Infinity War I rewatched. But I don't think there was anything much else that I was like, yeah, I can't wait. Even Once Upon a Time in Hollywood I want to watch again. Like
I don't know if I want to watch that again.
If that was if it was on, I would probably just.
Yeah.
It's probably the kind of thing where I just like catch it and I just keep rolling with it. Because I remember the first time I saw, what is it?
Grindhouse?
No, In the Snow. What am I blanking?
Hateful Eight?
Hateful Eight.
Yeah.
First time I saw that, I was like, whew, that was a long one. And then I put it on again last Christmas, and I was like, I love it. Like once you kind of know all the beats of it.
Did you watch the film again, or did you watch the Netflix?
I watched the film.
split
This
up?
is before they split it into
Because I'm curious
parts.
about that.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, what are they doing now?
They split it into chapters and
Four
added a bunch
like
of
hour-long chapters, essentially.
Yeah,
Weird.
so it's even longer.
The way it was intended to be seen. Maybe?
Maybe.
I don't know.
That's very anti-Tarantino.
Yeah. I guess big, gigantic shout out, only because we're watching the Avengers Infinity War or the Endgame trailer. Definitely worth watching the making of. They almost wait I think 3 hours now after the movie's out, and then the effects studio goes, look at the work
Where
we
is
did.
it?
Yeah.
It's on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
I think definitely on the Blu-ray release, but man, the amount of green screen sets that they're on.
Well, they're
and-
costumes, right?
Yeah, their entire CGI costumes.
That's insane.
There's so much. I didn't think they could pull a movie off like this big, but it's so much of it came down to the effects. Obviously, there's a lot of working pieces on this thing, but when you see everyone on set with remember they're there's gonna be this big moment where all the females come together. You see all of them on set, and they're like, all right, there's a big green mountain behind me. This is trash. This costume. They're just and action. They're sure, and they're just kind of doing a half jog, kind of half into it. And you watch that footage, you're like, I don't know if there's a movie here. Then you see the final shot, and you're like, wow, they really cleaned that up.
Yeah.
They blew it away. It's just, I don't know, they are the silent heroes of this entire Marvel. Any of the superhero movies that have been coming out, it's
You mean the visual effects?
the visual
teams?
effects team.
Well,
yeah.
and I guess
Wow.
there was a big news story. Was that yesterday that dropped, James, about the big Canadian studio behind, what was it, Lion King, Sonic,
Detective Pikachu.
Detective Pikachu just going under, or maybe just moving its Vancouver studio to some other country.
Massive,
They
massive
laid
layoffs.
off
Yeah.
tons of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks.
Well, somehow the movie managed to make $800 million,
You can't pay
but we couldn't pay the company that created the movie, essentially, the amount of money that they deserved. But, well, that's perfect.
but
Well, yeah, I don't know if that's that company's problem, the studio's problem, maybe
Yes.
both of them.
It's both.
I think
It's underbidding. Is
yeah,
what's
my
doing
understanding
it.
of the way it works is you bid on these projects and you might underbid to get a job, and then if you underbid on too many jobs, even if the movies are successful, you don't make money off of that. You would try and get another job, but too many underbids and you've closed down your
It's
company.
absurd. We're at the point where these movies should have the visual effects artists first. It should be the visual effects artists first. Then we can go director, cast, and the last person. And most of these should be writer. I think Endgame is an exception, but most of these are whatever. It has 20 writers on it, and everyone kind of just phoned it all in. Doesn't matter. We'll figure it out in storyboards. So,
yeah.
yeah.
You brought up Booksmart a few minutes ago, Lisa. It's a movie I haven't seen, but I have seen pop up on a few of these best of the year or most fun lists. I don't think we ever did a direct review of that. So can you tell us a little bit about Booksmart or what you thought was so memorable or rewatchable about that movie?
It's a kind of a Paramount movie in terms of telling it got compared to the Superbad of kind of teen female friendships.
Yeah.
And aside from, the cheesier Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, which I haven't seen, admittedly, but I am not really aware of a really good and well done and authentic take on this is the experience of two girls in high school and they're friends and they're moving on with the next chapter of their lives and this is what their relationship is like. And if you've ever had a really close friend like that you had to say goodbye to or something, this is a movie very much that hits the nail on the head with that. It was kind of a weird year for those relationships. Broad City ended, and they did that too, and then this movie did it. And so I was bawling through both of those. And it was directed by Olivia Wilde, who approached it in a very, very unique and stylish way. As an seemingly novice director, she did a great job. It's a really fun movie, and it's a very real and funny movie. It doesn't shy away from kind of the gross stuff and tough relationship things.
Right on.
I liked it a lot.
It's my favorite thing is when someone makes a piece of art or content or whatever that targets a certain demographic that's true to the honesty of that demographic, as opposed to saying like, this is what college life is like when Vitamin C writes the graduation song, and I'm like, this isn't what are you talking about? Where
these
did you
girls
get this?
all wear the same pants.
Where did you get this idea?
She farts in the pants. She farts in the pants.
It's like The Offspring is like, don't you hate that guy that wears jerseys and has spiked blonde tips at school and acts like a black guy? I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Everyone's pretty normal.
There's stuff in this movie where it's like about sexuality. And it's not a punchline.
It's weird because you would think, it's defying the tropes of the teenage comedy, right? When you think of John Hughes, or even then transitioning into the '90s and stuff, Can't Hardly Wait, all these things, like it's defying these tropes of teenage comedies. Except I think it's true to the tropes of today. It's adapted, and I feel like that's a harder thing to do, is to be honest about how things have changed and how maybe your perception on what a nerd is or what a jock is or anything in between. Yeah. This movie's great about blurring those lines into new tropes that still make it feel like a youthful, cartoonish interpretation.
Albeit it takes place at like a very liberal West Coast high school. So I'm sure there are high schools in Middle America where this is not the experience.
Sure.
But it is an interesting new experience where it's like, oh, there's this girl that's disliked in the movie, and she's made fun of, but it's not, and she's more heavy set, but it's not because of her weight. It's because people just genuinely don't like who she is.
Yeah.
And there's
she has personality
and then like
issues,
one of the most popular, like hottest kids is this, gender ambiguous kid, and it's like it is very much, I guess, that like, if you live in LA. Even to me, as someone who went to high school in North Carolina in the 90s and early 2000s, it's like most movies are not honest about what that is. Like, I remember watching Can't Hardly Wait and being like, where is this?
Yeah.
Like, where is this? It's don't you hate that kid in your class who always wears ski goggles?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
You as a kid are like, boy, is that what high school is going to be like?
Yeah.
It's going to be that one wild night.
Yeah, it turns out it's not. It's like people that smoke and people that don't smoke.
Well, there's also the confusing part, not to get on Can't Hardly Wait, but I'm just remembering that, where he's like, I fell in love with you. Dang it, you got to go to college tomorrow. You're like,
yeah.
Where are you? Like,
but Booksmart is really great about like making you feel like they're characters, so you can pick them out of a lineup, because sometimes movies, it's all blurred. Everyone's just a brown-haired white person, and you can't tell them apart, right? But it doesn't do that, but it puts them in characters in new ways that seems honest and true and still very funny and still very entertaining.
That's free on Netflix, right? as long as I pay for it.
You talked about tearing up during Booksmart. Toy Story was the only movie that actually got me at all this year. Were there any movies that got you guys to... I know you're a monster and don't cry.
Farewell came pretty close.
I think when J-Lo did that dance on...
I was like, those ones.
Jojo Rabbit had a few moments that were gut-wrenching, but my body wasn't ready for it. It kind of really comes out of left field. One that I didn't. There's no tearjerkers, but Ad Astra. Definitely, if you have any father issues, like some people in this room,
we'll touch you.
No, I'm fine.
It's really
one more time, Dad.
Yeah, I just like sci-fi films, and that was probably the most sci-fi film of the year.
And it seemed like real sci-fi too.
Yeah,
like that.
I mean, there's some weird inconsistencies, but like it was easy to forgive. But like, it's mostly Brad Pitt flying to Jupiter, and there's times where he's just by himself and he's just floating, and it's long. It's very like 2001 in those ways, but the perfect combination I saw was like it's like 2001 meets what's that one? Apocalypse Now.
Oh yeah,
like there is.
It does feel like that's how they pitched the movie. It's like let's jam these together.
It has that vibe, and there's like some good. I don't think anyone's gonna see it. I don't know if I guess stop watching now or listening now.
Spoilers for Ad Astra?
Spoil it?
I'm not gonna spoil it, but I mean, you know who's in it, right?
Yeah.
Like the people, the actors. Yeah. Okay. So like there's I'm spoiling it now. Not a big. It's not a big. I'm just saying there's a great interaction between two characters. I'm not gonna say it. You should just watch it. It's just a long movie, but
it is very long.
It is very long, but I liked how you ultimately felt kind of empty with the movie, but. Not ultimately, but like I don't know. It's hard to explain without spoiling the movie. I don't know if we'd want to do a longer podcast on it at some point, but I thought it was a good movie that a lot of people kind of overlooked. So, and kind of it doesn't make you feel sad, but it is like a punch to the gut in a lot of ways. So there.
So, what would you say is the funniest movie you saw this year? Anybody?
John Wick 3.
Yeah,
I'm not being facetious.
It was pretty
I
good.
laughed during most of that movie because it's so absurd. It's really good.
It's tough. I mean, if Todd Phillips taught us anything, it's that comedy can't be made anymore.
There wasn't anything that felt like a direct comedy. I would say the first half of Parasite was funny.
Yeah.
Toy Story 4 I thought was
I laughed
the
a lot at
funniest
this movie.
of the Toy Stories.
Jojo Rabbit's probably the funniest.
It was
We're
funny.
becoming we're transitioning into a better version of the Bollywood format, where these genres, every movie has
It's
becoming
everything.
more and more broad. So there's humor
Yeah.
injected into movies that don't necessarily have to be humorous.
Yeah.
The Farewell had funny moments.
Like the fart gag in Ad Astra.
Is there a fart gag? There may have been. I don't remember.
So like I do think, I mean, pure comedy, Booksmart is real good, but it's still
The end
Wow.
credits of Between Two Ferns on Netflix, I
Oh,
think,
well.
is the funniest, some of the funniest
Yeah.
stuff I've seen this year.
Right on.
Yeah, I think television is probably where comedy
Succession
is
is very
like
funny.
living now.
I even put a note here to myself that like is TV almost getting better than movies?
No.
There's a lot of it wasn't a rhetorical question, I think.
No. I know
But-
what you're saying though.
But there is a lot of good material on TV, and you were talking about what you have time to watch anymore, and it's hard to revisit movies. It's hard to revisit TV shows, but we're getting to the point where there's just too much to watch, I think.
well, too much good stuff.
Yeah.
That's like what James was saying.
It's a good problem to have, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we are so spoiled. We have the best heroin at all times being injected in the best vein that you have, and we still go, it could have been better.
It's the same amount of it's
So
the
jaded.
same amount of media as ever before, except it used to be Step by Step and Full House, and now it's Veep and Silicon Valley.
Yeah. Fleabag.
It's things, Fleabag.
I mean,
it's all this stuff.
There's still
competing.
plenty of bad stuff, but there's just so much more good stuff. Where, and then sometimes the stuff that's not good is sometimes just objectively or not objectively bad. It's just like, oh, that's just not my cup of tea. But then someone else really likes it. So there's enough stuff for everybody. It's a weird problem to have because there's too much stuff to watch.
Yeah.
I'm still to come this year. Uncut Gems, I think, could be near the top
Adam
of my
Sandler?
list. Yeah.
Got a lot of buzz.
Getting a lot of buzz. I've liked the Safdie brothers' other movies. So,
What else have they done?
what was the Robert Pattinson where he's running pretty much through the whole movie?
the Run
shit.
movie.
Is that the one
he
with
just-
9/11?
No.
Oh, that's a good comedy.
Is it the
I like
Dom
that
DeLillo one?
There's a problem with here's the problem with this. The trailer for this movie is it makes me go, oh, you want me to think this is any movie that's like this is an Oscar contender, and it's telling me that I'm like, well, I'll be the judge of that.
Good Time
which
is the
movie?
movie I was thinking of.
the one he's talking about.
The Uncut Gems?
The Uncut
Oh,
Gems. The Adam
I-
Sandler is like, look, he can be serious.
Yeah, that's it's been 20 years, so now Adam Sandler will be serious.
Yeah, I want him
So-
to. About 10 minutes from the end of that movie, as everything's coming to a head, I want him to see the penguin from Billy Madison. Oh, penguin!
I
Louis
see-
Magazine
yeah,
might stay.
I condition and I shampoo. That's great. He's great in Punch Drunk Love. If you want to see him in a serious role,
No, yeah,
he's done some serious stuff. That's like,
he's a great actor.
yeah. He just realized a long time ago. He goes, well, this stuff doesn't pay money.
You
Cash
know
in,
what was
baby.
okay? Murder Mystery.
That,
Yeah.
It was enjoyable.
It's not going to be on any lists, I'm sure.
No. It'll
But-
be on like what are the fun movies you can watch
Yeah.
this year?
Hobbs and Shaw. Fun movie.
Never saw it.
It's a lot of fun.
Spider-Man Homelander.
I dug Homecoming.
Well, that was
It was-
from years ago.
Was that
Yeah.
what was the one this year?
Far From
Home.
Far From Home. it
Too
was
many
good.
homes.
That was I guess also Jake Gyllenhaal, great actor. But what's the fun murder movie? What were we talking about?
Murder
Mystery is Jennifer.
Oh, it's a movie called Murder Mystery.
Yeah, Jennifer
Oh, okay.
Aniston and Adam Sandler in a Netflix movie
Oh,
about
Cool.
an unwitting couple that goes on their second honeymoon or whatever and gets caught up in a murder mystery or something.
interesting.
It seemed fun enough.
Okay, there's too many good things to watch.
Yeah.
We had a Dark Crystal this year. We had a Deadwood movie. We had too much
I
good
was
stuff.
like, I mean,
movie.
honestly, television got me more hype than most movies, but television got me
It's still,
dying.
it's still, I feel like there was rarely a month that went by where there wasn't like, ooh, big event. Let's all go to the Cinemaplex and catch that hot new film and talk about it next to the water cooler.
Mm-hmm.
That's what humans say, right?
Yes, that's how they
okay.
speak.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, Elisa, if you were to award a movie Elisa's favorite movie of the year award, can you do that?
Knives Out.
Yeah.
Parasite is an excellent film, but I'll rewatch Knives Out a ton. I'll rewatch Parasite as well, but
Cool.
I'll watch it.
Adam, is there an Adam's favorite movie?
Parasite.
Jamesy?
The animated Addams Family.
Thank you.
Did you see that?
No.
I really
I'm
want
gonna-
to. I
I-
love the Adams Family.
I'm going to go Parasite as well.
Yeah.
Just the expertise, the mastery of the whole movie
Sure.
is pretty impeccable.
No, I haven't seen The Lighthouse yet, even though that was one of my most anticipated of the year. I haven't gotten to see it, but did you guys see Lighthouse? Is
it's
it good?
good.
Yeah.
Is it worth seeing?
It's an artsy movie. It depends on your tolerance for movies that are like, good luck, like,
I mean, that's pretty high.
Yeah,
I have to drive to ArcLight Hollywood to watch it, though. Is it worth driving an hour across town to see? Or should I
yeah,
wait?
sure.
Should
I
I
mean, I
wait?
do think it's kind of a see it in theaters kind
Okay.
of movie.
All right.
It's like a pretty. I mean, Willem Dafoe is fantastic. I would put him as a best actor contender.
Cool.
I know everyone's hot on Robert Pattinson, who's also good, but Willem Dafoe is kind of like stealing every single scene, which
Right
is
on.
almost every single scene. But yeah, I think it's real good.
Cool.
So
Well, is there anything that we left off for any of you?
I'm sure
Man.
there was something that we're
Something
There
forgetting.
was a
somewhere.
Breaking Bad movie that came out. I still haven't seen that one.
There's-
People
well,
said
yeah.
not
There-
good.
There were also movies from previous years that I only caught up this. So like
Yeah.
The Lobster. I watched The Lobster this year, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Hey, that was great."
I've been meaning to watch all the because there's the other ones too, right? The Killing of the Sacred Deer. It's the
Yeah.
other movie that he did. That's like I have they're bookmarked.
Yeah.
I'm like I will watch these when I have a really slow afternoon waiting up
Which
on
is
me.
never-
So
Yeah.
I do think that's another great topic is like what was a movie you saw this year that didn't come out that was amazing. And I saw both. I did a double feature of the Paddington movies. At you guys just constantly talking about Paddington, and they are wonderful.
Well,
And so I'll hit that again. If you haven't seen Paddington,
Yeah.
that's better than most any of the movies we've
I'll
talked about.
go ahead and throw it out here. Paddington 2 is also my movie of 2019, and probably will be my movie
Again.
of the year for several years to come.
They just opened up an Alamo Draft House here in LA, so I finally saw Labyrinth in theaters
Cool.
with people who would sing along to it.
Oh,
no.
okay.
Oh,
that
boy.
caveat.
I was going to
Yeah.
say, I've seen
I was
Labyrinth.
like, I have
in
seen
theaters
Labyrinth with you in a
I
theater.
know. Yeah, because I rented one out for Jess's birthday. Sorry about that.
cool.
But yeah, man, I don't know. I will say because of the trailer came back up. We think we said this during the John Wick review, but I am blown away that we found a way to break the trilogy sickness, where the third movie comes in and go, I am so tired of this, I don't want any more. John Wick, I think, is like, other than Marvel movies, or like the ones where I'm like, more, give me more, keep making these, like, or Rocky actually probably broke. Well, they had some ups and downs, but like, give me more John
Do you
Wick.
think
Thank you,
it's-
Brittany.
What's that?
It's a Britney Spears joke.
Has-
The
has-
song,
Did
Give Me
Creed
More.
come out this year?
Give me more.
Was there a third Creed movie?
There's a second Creed movie that came out this year, right?
Creed.
Or was
I
that
don't-
last year? That was late
It
last
was
year,
last
right?
Has John Wick broken into the James Bond Mission Impossible category of just keep putting them in my vein?
Maybe, but they could only
Close.
Yeah. Well, okay. Yeah. I guess Mission Impossible is sort of reliant on Tom Cruise, and John Wick is reliant on Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
but if they did a collab with Atomic Blonde, I'd watch
Whoa.
that. Why not?
They can't.
I think
They
he
couldn't
said-
get Atomic Blonde. They could get Ultraviolet though.
Ruh-roh.
Alice is back. That's not her name. Whatever.
All right. Well, I think that's it for this week. We don't have time to talk about the Home Alone reboot that they're doing. If there's anything that we missed in the comments, let us know if we missed your favorite movie of the year or if there's something else we should go check out. Thanks for coming around. Thanks to Away for sponsoring this episode. And we'll be back next week to talk about Star Wars, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's next week.
Yeah, I think the new one has a question mark at the end of it.
Star Wars.
Yeah. Rise of the Who?
Right on. Thanks for coming around, everybody.
Bye.
He's Forrest Gump.
He's kind
Is that what you said when we were watching it?
that's all you. Yes, I'll do it. Like
Yeah.
We call
don't
the
promote
Irish
her.
woman.
I was going to say, do you think they're going to release the road cut of the Irishman?
yeah, mate, where was she the whole time?
Yeah. Brian Singer's like, we're working on a road cut of the Irish. Like, wait, aren't you in jail?
Yeah.
Didn't you rape a kid?